If we asked you this morning as you watch the show, do you have an estate? How many of you would say yes? Jay and Brittany Hagee say probably all of you should say yes. They are here with Allon Planning Partners. I like that. That's an optimistic statement. We all should say yes, we have an estate.
That's exactly right. And so we talk a lot about when we connect with everyone, but here, especially on this show, is we do 5 components of financial planning. And one of those big 5 is estate planning. And so I want to demystify it a little bit, because a lot of folks come in and they think, well, I don't have $10 million. I don't have an estate. That's not true. Anything of value that you have to pass on, and that you want to pass on not only the wealth, but your values with that wealth, you should have a good estate plan, right? Not only for when you're no longer here, but actually while you're still alive too, and that's what we want to kind of chat about.
Let me give you an example, because when you were talking, my thought immediately went to like land. If you want to pass land on to your kids, but you need to maybe have an infrastructure in place to support holding on to that land.
And that's a perfect example of how estate planning is so interconnected with your actual financial plan. Because what you choose to do with your estate planning, not just documents, but how you're passing things on, it impacts dollars that you give to whoever you're passing on to, obviously, but it also impacts in ways like taxes. How can I pass this on in a tax efficient way, or how can I gift this in the best way when it comes to taxes? So we really just want to raise some awareness around the interconnectedness between the estate planning and the financial component. And a couple examples of that.
Yeah, we got an example.
Yeah, I think one really good one when we're talking about passing on, we had a gentleman come to our office who had done an exceptional job saving and preparing for retirement. He had $7-8 million saved up, and it was all in IRAs, so 401k type funds. And he had just said, my plan is just to pass this on to my kids when I pass away, and they'll inherit all of that 7-8 million tax free. And we're like, well, actually, that's not how it goes. So it's really ensuring that you have a tax efficient strategy to pass that on to
that you don't create an unnecessary tax burden in trying to get funds. What you create as a blessing, you don't want to become a burden eventually for kids.
Or what you think you are giving that will be maintainable
you're
can't
not
be
able
because you need to have like a separate fund for them to draw for the taxes.
Yeah, or because you think you're passing on 8 million, but really you're passing on 3.5 because the taxes are insane.
No, we're not estate planning attorneys, and we don't draw up these documents, but we quarterback the plans for folks, and so we want to make sure you have what you need. And some of those basic documents are trusts or wills, and you need to know the difference between those, and we need to talk through that. Power of attorney documents, which are a big deal for even while you're alive, because if I have a 401k or an IRA, Brittany may be my beneficiary, but that doesn't mean that she has access to my accounts while I'm living. So if I'm in a coma or I need assistance with my funds, just because she is the beneficiary of my accounts doesn't mean she can get in and access those funds for my health care or my needs that I may have. She actually has to have what's called a power of attorney document for that. So power of attorney for health care and financial, and then also health care directives. So like there are basic things that everyone needs in place, and that's why everyone needs an estate plan.
So I've had this thing at my house where I've been trying to go room by room and just focus, because I get overwhelmed if I have too much to clean, right? So last weekend it was the kitchen. So is it almost a good idea to say, you know what, I'm going to take a day off from work, or I'm going to take this weekend to gather my things and then dedicate time to just come and see you, and that way their brains are uncluttered?
That's a great way to do it. And really, again, as I mentioned before, we do have a process we walk folks through. So it's not this overwhelming everything at once, right?
We have your checklist.
It's this gradual step-by-step process that we'll walk you through to help you really understand what you should be focusing on, and to narrow down your list of worries and your to-dos, right?
But if there's one thing I want to say before we have to take off is everyone needs an estate plan. So it's not just if you have millions of dollars. If you have anything valuable that you want to make sure gets passed on well, please make an estate plan a part of your financial plan. And if you don't have that, please come see us. We'd love to help you with that.
Well, here's where you will find them. It's Allon Planning Partners. The website is simply allonplanning.com. They're right there on East Brainerd Road. 315-1441 is their phone number. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.